Frances McDormand was nominated?
No, this is her third win.
Well, what else did she get?
She won for Fargo, and she won for Almost Famous.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Before Fargo, I saw her in this one called Burn Before After Reading.
Oh yeah, that was
Brad Pitt. It was a real kind of a goofy, funny movie.
That was directed by her husband or brother-in-law. One of the Coen brothers.
Yeah, great characters. That was a big. That was funny, man. I like that movie.
You know what? There's stuff in that movie. It's one of those Netflix finds. It bombed in theaters.
Yeah.
It's one of those shocking. What they do to Brad Pitt and a couple other characters will blow your mind. It's like, wow, I've heard nothing about this movie.
Yeah, like Brad Pitt plays a total dingbat dude in this.
Burn After Reading. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a health club worker, and so he's very stupid, but he thinks he's smart in the movie. It's a great performance.
And he ends up getting shot in the closet.
I wasn't going to tell that, but yeah.
Yeah, and then
spoiler alert.
Frances McDormand.
He's like, I wasn't going to tell everybody.
Yeah, that was the big shock. Remember, they blow his brains out, but there you go. Thank you.
And Frances McDormand is like trying to extort something that's not extortable, like declassified stuff that she...
All she did was red flag.
And she just wants to get a boob job, you know, out of this with this money.
And she ends up getting about 12 people dead. It's a good movie.
And they're going, okay, God, get her a boob job, whatever.
There's another great Netflix movie I would urge. George Clooney makes so many terrible movies that you got to watch Michael Clayton. It's actually a really good one that nobody saw. You know,
I was going to say, you're saying that on the air. George Clooney makes so many bad movies.
He does. I mean, even he knows this. He's the worst Batman in cinema history.
Okay, we've got stars and we've got actors.
Yeah, he's
Tom Cruise is star.
George Clooney,
star.
He doesn't sell tickets. He sells. The Deadline Hollywood makes an argument on Tom Cruise as a star. Tom Cruise has been selling tickets since 1983. George Clooney sells tabloids. George Clooney sells TMZ, but George Clooney movies usually come out and bomb. You know, even the one he won for didn't do very well at the box office.
Which one was
Which
this?
one was that?
See, nobody can remember.
Yeah, there you go.
Nobody can remember.
What is this? I know.
Yeah. George Clooney won an Oscar like 3 years ago, and nobody can remember what it was for. You know? See? Nobody. You're all scratching your head.
But see, you know, so you
But
get
who
to
is his
tell us.
co-star? Anybody else supporting actors get a card for
Well,
that
that's
same
what
movie?
everyone said. It was somebody else's movie. They said if you're going to make money, if George Clooney is going to make money, it's only if you put him next to Julia Roberts, only if you put him next to Brad Pitt. You know what I mean? I mean, they said the argument.
Sherry.
Yeah, the argument in Deadline Hollywood is that he's not a star. He sells tabloids, not tickets. And if you see any movie of George Clooney alone, you've got acres and acres of George Clooney bombs.
Yeah, that's Booker from Roseanne and Facts of Life.
Right. But I mean, you put anybody else in the movie, you know, Julia Roberts doesn't need a bunch of other people to sell, or she used to. She made a terrible mistake.
Well, he did one with
I really loved her
Leonardo,
in Satisfaction. I'm sorry.
You know what? You know what? The great part about Satisfaction.
It's so bad.
The great part about Satisfaction.
Yes.
Is if you watch when they would run Satisfaction after Pretty Woman opened on like NBC.
Yes.
Because it was supposed to be a Justine Bateman project.
Absolutely.
It would look blurry and weird on TV because they were stretching out the film because Julia Roberts was like the girl in the band playing the tambourine or something. So it's grainy and stretched out on network because they were trying to get the full frame of Julia Roberts.
Oh, that's funny.
So Justine Bateman is kind of blurred out on the side, even though she's the female lead, to make Julia Roberts bigger in the frame.
That's funny.
And you remember who else was in that?
You know, I love Little Blonde, but I don't know her name.
Taken. I have a particular skill set.
Aha, she was the daughter.
Liam Neeson was in it.
Really?
Liam Neeson was in that movie. He's the handsome guy who they both have a crush on.
You're right.
Yep.
You are right.
So when Darkman and stuff like that.
The blonde, what happened to her? Because I thought out of that whole movie, she was realistically the best actress.
Well, guess what? She wasn't Julia Roberts. Make way, little blonde. You're going to get crushed.
Oh, that's so sad. And even Julia was like, I'm so fat. I'm so fat.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure Justine Bateman had a hand in that line.
I know. Yeah, it was like
I
funny.
never was really attracted to her till she did Erin Brockovich. Something about that character that
Cleavage.
she did. And I'm just
You're
going,
that
wow.
base sergeant.
I wasn't the same after that. I go, wow, I kind of like, I dig her now. You know?
Because she was trying to be like all intelligent,
Right.
sophisticated.
Does that mean I'm attracted to intelligent women?
I don't know. Are
Well,
you
if
attracted
they're-
to me?
Yeah.
Wow, you are a hypnotist.
you got a sweet brain.
Nice. There you go.
He's trying to check out your brain.
I like your shirt.
No, good morning. Oh, I go to Cook's Corner all the time. Well, let's ride up. We'll get my buddy Ivan Katz. We'll get Tom.
Proctor.
We'll get Tom Proctor.
You're gonna have to pick these up. All these names you're dropping.
I tried to see if he could come on this, but he's really busy. He's got a lot of things going on.
He actually does have a lot.
Who are we talking about? Tom Proctor?
He's a really nice guy. He's sincere. He's polite.
Why isn't he here today?
Nice to everybody. And
I think he's filming somewhere.
yeah, he's got a lot of things going on. He's a big dude, intimidating biker looking dude. But he's a teddy bear, just like you,
Oh,
Patrick.
shucks. Thank you, Jeffrey.
He's the one that actually is the reason why I got my motorcycle.
Really? You're a
He
bike
is-
rider.
He also is. He pretty much taught me how to ride. Yeah, he's my mentor, my acting coach, and my motorcycle buddy. But
Are you ready to ride? Are you on your permit still, or did you get your license?
oh, honey, not only did I get my license, but I already did stunt work with my baby girl.
Really? Wow. And was that on
Nation's Fire. I
yes, you
doing-
stunts.
I did stunts on.
We were
on
very impressed to see that.
Yeah.
And that's the bike you own now? You didn't trash your bike?
Oh no, I believe it or not, it was because of Tom Proctor that I got my bike. It was hilarious.
Is Tom Proctor a stuntman as well?
He is.
Yeah, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy
Yes,
in
he
the
was.
jail, in the prison fight scene.
If he's who I'm thinking of, I think he's also in Jaws: The Revenge. There's a stuntman that did he work on DS9? If he worked on DS9, he's in Jaws: The Revenge.
I don't know. He's not.
I don't know,
He's
but I
younger
know
than.
he's like-
He's younger than we are, isn't he?
Is he younger than us? Honestly, I don't know.
He's
but-
around the same age. Group.
yeah, he's about the same. He's about the same as us. Yeah, sure. But no, he did 12 Years as a Slave and
Was he?
oh yeah, he's also Bongo the Clown on Baskets and.
Oh yeah, on Basket, my friend Dean England plays a character in that.
And
Neighbor.
he is the director of Laid Over.
Wow.
Right over.
Yeah.
Yes. Look
And
If you live up to
also-
half the title, it'd be a good movie.
Also, he
Nothing?
was also a star in it as well. And Marilyn Gigalotti is in it as well.
Oh yes. What's the movie? You, Tom, and Marilyn are in that Western.
What's the
right?
log line?
It's not a Western.
No. What is it?
It's a true story based on my life.
Tell us more.
Oh, it was really, really scary. And we just got done filming it. It was 3 days from 5 at night to 5 in the morning, and it was
Wow.
probably the hardest movie I've ever had to shoot because it was so emotional.
Because this is about your haunted house you grew in.
No. This was what happened was I had separated from my ex. Thank gosh. And and I was talking online and I discovered a gentleman who we were talking to for close to 2 years. And I was doing a show in Canada, a hypnosis show. And we kind of, my stage partner, if you will, we broke up. I was done. You don't understand show business.
Wow.
So I said, we're done. And I go, you know what? I'm going to go and meet this booty call, if you will.
Wow.
And so
Interesting.
I went.
I like it so far.
I was all distressed and upset. I'd been up over 24 hours. And
You weren't thinking clearly.
I missed my plane to the booty call.
Wow.
And so they diverted me to this little tiny town plane in Medford,
Medford, Oregon. I love Medford.
It's tiny.
It is. It's very tiny.
And
But
so I got off the plane.
they used to call it Methford.
Oh, makes sense.
And Dreadford is also what they call it.
Makes sense.
You're right by the Rug Creek if you got to wander around the town and all.
Makes sense.
A lot of thrift stores.
I got off the plane and I sat down and tried to plug my phone in, and I fell asleep. I woke up and the airport was completely empty. There was no people. There were no airplanes. There were no cars. It was nobody.
It's like a really bad episode of Black Mirror.
And
Oh, man.
I actually thought I had died. I physically thought I died. And so I'm sitting there going, I can't believe you, almighty, killing me before I got to have sex. What's wrong with you? And I'm running around that entire airport crying and freaking out that, I mean, what airport is empty completely? Medford.
Oh, God.
And I mean, and we even called there not too long ago, and I said, do you guys still close down at night? And they're like, well, yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh. But so we filmed the movie Laid Over. And while I was screaming at the Almighty, in walks a guard, and I physically convinced him he was dead as well, who actually is played by Tom Proctor.
You are a ghost.
You listen to the sound of my voice. Puffy, fluffy counts. Puffy, fluffy counts.
But that's what we filmed Laid Over in St. George Airport. It was awesome. We got some really good footage, and it was a hard shoot because the minute I went there, I was completely back at Medford, and I started just bursting into tears thinking, oh my gosh, can you imagine being in an airport for eternity alone?
Gosh, that's yeah, no, that's bad.
That's bad.
Your plane never lands, you never board, you're there waiting for your ticket.
Or you're a dead guy waiting for the flight that killed you.
Yeah. Boy, I mean, you picked the right location then. The old Ontario airport is good for filming because it's very dated. It's very
you'll
60s.
see it on episodes of Mad Men. It played itself on one of the last episodes of 24.
It was really hard to get an airport because we realistically didn't need the airplane.
Yes.
We just needed the airport.
Did you find one?
St. George.
Really?
Yeah. It
Out
was
here or?
in Utah.
Oh.
St. George, it's right near the border. It's pretty close. It's just right on the other side of Nevada.
It was amazing shoot, amazing location, but it took a while to find an actual airport because most airports you can't film in the bathrooms. I don't know why.
Yeah, post 9/11, you're not going to be able to steal shots at an airport
Why
anymore.
are you not allowed to film in a bathroom?
I think it would lead to too many questions. I mean, the Sky Harbor in Phoenix is also one of those creepy, empty airports. You know what I mean? I mean, we had a similar story, but it was with my brother, and the whole airport cleared out. I mean, it was just him and me. And maybe every hour, once an hour, a sky cap would walk by, but there was nobody.
I was alone for well over 5 hours before the guard even walked in.
You thought you were such a good hypnotist.
I knew I was dead. I knew it. There was no way. How could you just? There was nobody, and I'm running around, and I'm going through the luggage racks and behind everything, and I was freaking out, and everything was dead. Everything. I mean, the computers were dead. Everything was dead, and finally, when the guard came in and we were crying together. I convinced a guard he was dead. That's impressive. But finally, it was morning. I don't know.
Did he take out his gun and blow his own brains out to prove to you he was alive?
No, but we were getting close to having sex. That's for sure.
Really?
Oh,
was he a handsome fellow?
He was actually. He was a very handsome fellow.
Yeah. Wow. Well, there you go.
Yeah. You know, 6 years of not having anything, I was desperate.
That's if you can't hypnotize the one you love, hypnotize the one you're with.
There you go.
That'd be a good song. Hypnotize the one you love.
There you go. But when all of a sudden this airplane lands and out comes this one person, I'm like, oh, I guess he died too. And then all of a sudden everybody came out of the plane, and the stewardess or flight attendant, whatever you want to call them nowadays, Went over to the computer.
If you want your coffee, you call them flight attendants.
It's like, what happened to stewardess? No, you can't call them that anymore.
Yeah, stewardess sounded too much like flying showgirl, I guess.
I don't know.
They're no longer stewarding.
Yeah.
They're not a steward anymore.
As somebody, one of my college jobs was to drive. I worked for a Holiday Inn in Ontario, California, and I would pick up the beautiful flight attendants, and there'd always be the gay steward who was always complaining about the flight attendants and the pilots, because flight attendants and pilots would hook up in the van on the way there. I remember the pilot was always some cool guy in a bomber jacket, you know, he goes, I remember driving this pilot back, and then all the flight attendants were talking about who was going to get a shot at Jack the pilot.
Oh, that's funny. Funny.
The male stewardess, the male flight attendant's like, everyone thinks I'm gay. And then he would start hitting on somebody as soon as we go back to the hotel. Then there was the straight guy who was a male flight attendant. He would hit on the flight attendants who would just laugh at him. You know, they go, no, Billy. No, Jack's on this flight. And even he understood Jack's pecking order.
How many people are unloading off this plane then?
I don't have any idea. All I know was that the minute they came and got the computers up and everything, I was like, I'm not dead. And I'm sorry that I tried to have sex with you, even though you're married. And and then all of a sudden it was, the computers and everything worked again. And I was able to go on to my booty call. So
you made your booty call. Oh, yeah. Tongue against the teeth. I think she's being facetious, fellas.
It all worked out just fine.
Wow.
You know what they say? Laura Hayden is a comedian, and she always puts the most random stuff up. She said that people's hair grows faster when you anticipate sex.
Really? Interesting. Wow.
I want to know who was on that panel.
That's
Who was on that panel, and why am I so bald?
Have you not anticipated anything?
Not even his own show.
Maybe because I think of the word, I associate anticipation with a slow bottle of ketchup.
By the way, don't you like how he goes, I anticipated.
That camera right there.
The camera of truth.
That's the one that gets my bald head. And there's 4 cameras. One here, one there. So you're on 4 cameras.
Oh, that's right.
So you're good from every angle. I'm not.
See, I didn't think I was on camera. So
No
I've
way,
been
baby,
sitting
you're-
here putting all my stuff here, and it's all flying
Now
everywhere.
everyone knows you're a hoarder.
Oh, Stacy Reynolds is watching. Oh, my God. I loved you since high school, baby.
By the way, with that kind of opening line, I can see why Stacey Reynolds has never given you the time of day.
Oh, Michelle Arthur. Hello, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle Arthur, star.
Yes, boy, what a lovely magazine model you are, Michelle. She's in the latest magazine of Sensation.
I was about to say that,
Nice.
yes. She's
Nice.
in Sensations this month. The charming
Very
Michelle.
nice.
No, in the 90s, there was a comedian hypnotist called Pat Collins.
Absolutely.
The hypnotist.
Oh, I remember her
I didn't
radio
realize-
shoot. Come down, we have delicious food. Yeah,
She
it
would
was like-
always buy that same corner square. It was like blah, blah, blah as Chief Zaboo. There was always 2 ads that would be in every Hollywood Reporter and Variety. And it was Pat
Yeah.
Collins, the hypnotist. Was she in a relation? Did she teach you everything she knows about?
I never met her, but I will tell you this. I did a show in, where was I? Oh, my goodness. I don't even remember. I want to say it was like Weed Patch or something. It was really very small. And my assistant had to go and be a park ranger or something. So we did this really quick show because I was set for this other show, and I ended up there. And we ended up with like 10 or 15 people in this little tiny stage thing. And I had this one on stage, and I started to do this one bit that I thought was pretty funny. And it's basically where I say to the one, I had the girl up on stage and the guys down there, and I'm like, if you don't, you go ahead and you I'm trying to remember the whole thing. You go ahead and you don't know this person, or you love this person and you're going to kiss and you're stuck and glued. And now you don't know this person at all. And the guy started going, no, do not do this. Do not do this. No. And I'm like, what's up? Okay, I won't do this one. Okay. Afterwards, I found out that.
Escort.
No, it was hilarious. This guy basically was marrying to the sister, which was there, and the day before their wedding, and they did the Pat Collins show, and she did that bit, believe it or not, and they said, now you don't know who he is, and she punched him right in the face and got a black eye.
Wow.
And now he's marrying the sister 30 years later, whatever. And we're on my stage the day before their wedding. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this again. And I was laughing, going,
crazy,
that's
man.
Weird.
I always wondered what happened because I remember hearing the ads, the commercials.
She always had that. It was somebody as Chief Zaboo for a movie that took forever to get made in the back of Variety. And the ad next to it was always Pat Collins, the hip hypnotist. But Pat was much older, much older. You know what I mean? I mean, you could tell she was like from the swinging 60s. Like,
Yeah.
You know.
She's been around a long time, but she actually
Sent you a cease and desist?
hypnosis on the books, technically.
Wow.
You know, they talk about all these other hypnotists and everything, but it's always Pat Collins that comes up.
She would hypnotize you for dieting, right? To lose weight and everything. And
I'm sure she did, but she was mostly just comedy, which I liked. Yeah.
I did this one show. It was the Comedy Store. Remember the Comedy Store that was the Laugh Stop or whatever it was in Montclair Plaza?
Yes, I saw him there.
I went there. His name was the Great Lachlan.
Oh.
He called him.
Okay.
And I went there and I said, he picked me and I went up and I go, this ain't going to work. Nobody's going to hypnotize me. And he did it with sounds and music. And as soon as I felt this, I was conscious the whole time.
Of course you are.
I knew what everything was going on.
Absolutely.
But I felt this when he played the music and it went, and it just went, I just felt everything go in a whirlpool and just, and just stuck in my brain. And I'm going
he made
like,
two
wow.
same-sex adult films before he came out of his
And I go, what's going on? So he puts me between two chairs and he goes, you are a block. You are
stiff as a board. Yes.
Stiff as a board. You are a plate of steel.
Yep.
And I go, and I was 100. I was a skinny kid with my Roger Daltrey hair. I was a skinny kid.
Now the show's getting a sad turn.
Maybe I was Peter Frampton. I don't know. But
wah, wah, wah.
he had a little weight to him, and he climbed up off the table, stood on top of me. I'm going, oh my God, I can't believe this is working. I'm going to break. I'm going to break
Was
in
the
half.
crowd?
No. And
Well,
then
Jeff, was the crowd weirded out by your erection?
So check this out. He's standing up, and then he lifts his feet out and lands on me like, boom, like this. I'm going, oh my God, I can't believe this just happened. And then he pulls me out, and everybody's clapping. I'm going like, wow. I'm consciously, a lot of people saying, you're a monkey, you're whatever.
Right.
Ooh, do this. And they're not like aware of what they're doing. I was aware every second.
Everybody's always aware of what they're doing.
Yeah?
Yes, obviously. It's like you hypnotize yourself every day. You go ahead and you drive 10 miles down the road and you don't even realize where you came from.
You zone out, yeah.
You zone out. Every time you zone out in anything, you're watching your football game or something and somebody's screaming at you, but you don't hear them at all. You kind of do, but you kind of don't. You're zoned. That is a form of hypnosis. All of that is hypnosis. The only difference is I'm going to take you where I want you to go instead of
Well, that sounds promising.
And the stiff as a board, believe it or not, we're not allowed to do that anymore.
Really?
Well,
This was back in the 80s when this
yeah,
happened.
well, technically you're not allowed to do it anymore because of insurance reasons. A lot of people are not as a good subject such as yourself.
Yeah.
And people end up getting hurt. And a lot of the hypnotists today, they don't know what they're doing. So
You are
it's
not
a
going
good
to sue
choice.
me.
Yeah,
You are
yeah.
not going to sue me.
There you go. So I personally like to do the stiff as a board, but I don't do it the same way. I don't do it like that because you really shouldn't. I have my assistant lift in the middle, and your legs and your head is flayed out.
Going straight.
Yeah,
that makes more sense. That sounds, safety first.
Safety first, always.
And we don't want lawsuits.
Nope, we sure don't. But we
Southern
do want
California,
to
baby.
look amazing, and we do want to have fun. You know, it's all about the fun and comedy and you know.
Well, when did you add hypnotism into your act?
Well, I stopped acting when I had bilateral knee surgery. That was the end of that. And
What happened? You blew your knees out out of a gig?
my knees always went out. They always dislocated. And then one day it was great. They always dislocated in the worst times. Like, for example, when you're in the bathroom at school and they dislocate and all the girls are smoking their cigarettes and you're crying, screaming, going, please get a teacher. And they're like, no, we're going to continue smoking. I don't care how much pain you're in.
That is cruel.
Yeah, but who calls for a bathroom? Who sits in the bathroom and calls for a teacher? A narc. You're either smoking or part of the problem.
I'm like crying, going, please, please. And they're like, no.
Shit.
I can see them
Burn in
now.
hell, Carrie White. Carrie White, burn in hell.
I was the prom queen.
Oh, you were?
Oh, I was. Went to Hollywood Professional and I was the prom queen.
Hollywood Professional.
Wow.
And did the guy squiring you down the aisle, did he become anything?
No, because Hollywood Professional, my prom, we had, I think there was 12 people.
Who was the most famous person in your graduating class?
In my graduating class?
Yes.
I think Lance.
What high school is this?
Lance Kerwin, maybe?
Lance Kerwin.
Oh my God,
wow.
James at 15.
Yeah.
James at 15. Wow.
Todd Bridges was earlier. Val Kilmer was
Wow. Val Kilmer.
Wow.
Yeah, he was the most. I think Mackenzie Phillips went the year before me. She graduated.
If you guys are really good, before the end of the hour, I'll tell you about the time I made out with Dana Plato. True story.
Yeah, very, very sad. But, yeah.
Not me making to
but
make
not
out.
when you were making out. I get
I
it.
thought it was a
Okay.
great story to make out with Dana Plato when she was alive. True story.
I was like, good thing she was still alive.
Yes.
You know?
Holy necrophilia.
Oh, no. It was when she was still out of pulse. Although, one of the sad stories, Different Strokes, I'd interviewed Herb Kenwith, and Herb Kenwith had done like 500 hours of TV.
Yeah.
He directed Love Boats. He directed Donna Reed. He directed a Star Trek. He directed the one, speaking of hypnotists and Vegas acts, he directed the one episode of Star Trek, blows people's minds, written by Sherry Lewis of Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop.
Lamb chops,
Little
yeah.
lamb chop.
The Lights of Zetar. And he directed a bunch of episodes of Different Strokes. And he said, he just said it was the biggest, seeing those three kids, he said it was the biggest act of child neglect. You know, I guess Gary Coleman was on dialysis. They would unplug him to go before the cameras, and then the kid would
You
be
mean
knocked
he
out.
was doing this while he was still filming on the show?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh,
yes,
yeah.
he
Oh,
was.
I didn't know that poor kid had those problems.
But
back
see,
then.
here's the thing. Back in those days, we, as child actors, we were the commodity. So it didn't matter if you were sick. It didn't matter if you had the flu or something and you had to go on set. There would be a bucket on the side, and you would just puke and do that. We weren't allowed to say what we were doing. We weren't allowed to do anything because it would lose the studio's money. So all of us HPSers, Hollywood Professional School kids,
Stay downwind, partner.
we kind of are our own entities, if you will, because we have that whole almost like a sorority or fraternity kind of thing with us, because we were, the studio's commodity. We weren't allowed to have feelings or
So you were
care.
studio property.
Yeah, we kind of
Wow,
were.
that's
All of
kinda
us
hot.
were. Yeah. You'll be my property, honey.
You make no money. You work for me. You make me lots of money. You not losing money. I'm losing
It's
money.
the truth, and it's funny because like Todd Bridges really did go past all of that, but in school,
He shot 5 guys in a crack house and still beat the rap.
but
Right?
he in school he was hilarious. He's this little kid, and he would be jumping all over the place, and I had like Leif Garrett would be like, just joking around. All of us would just joke
What
around.
a train wreck that guy is. Did you ever see his behind the music?
Leif Garrett?
Yeah.
Oh, he was a lip syncer.
Well,
Michael Lloyd did all his singing as producer.
But Leif Garrett's the one who paralyzed his buddy, right? In that car accident.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the great part.
No, that was
No.
But I don't think he did it on purpose.
Well, he was. What happens is they cut to the guy, and it's a sad story, but it's also darkly comic. The guy who looks like his best friend, who he paralyzed in the 70s, is still paralyzed. Of course, you know what I mean.
Yes, he is.
And he says something like, "I know it's the greatest regret of me and Leif's life. What happened to me?" And they cut the Leif Garrett. He looks like 5 miles of bad road with black fingernail polish, and his eyes are glazed over. And the reporter for MTV or VH1 said, Leif, thinking he's going to mention the paralyzed buddy, what's the greatest regret of your life? And they've just spent the last half hour setting up this guy paralyzed. He goes, losing what's her face of Desperate Housewives. And you're watching this thing, and
I did not see that.
yeah,
That's sad.
the paralyzed guy is going, the greatest regret of me and Leif's life is what happened to me. I know that not a day goes by when he doesn't want to take it back. They ask Leif Garrett, and immediately says the chick from Desperate Housewives walking out was the worst. Biggest regret of his life. Yeah. Thank you, Dan. It's great to have a producer again.
Oh, that's sad.
So you went to HPS with Todd Bridges.
I did.
Leif Garrett.
Yeah, I did. Lance Kerwin. Oh my goodness. And then, of course, now we're talking to everybody. In fact, I just did the reunion.
Did you really?
Yeah, we just had our reunion.
Was it like 3 people?
No, we had quite a crowd. And
You were waiting for Butch from Nanny the Professor to show up.
Wink Martindale sang. I think he sang, and then John Provex.
John Provost from Timmy and Lassie.
Yep.
Also used to date Diane Sherry, Lana Lang from Superman the movie.
Yep. And Sharon from the Mouseketeers. We had the last 3 Mouseketeers are left, and they were there.
I just sent on a project that Sharon worked on.
Okay.
Sharon, yeah, she sent a picture for me.
Yeah. And Mac was there.
Mackenzie Phillips?
Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody was there. Ronald White was there. Hey, Ronald.
What? No Scott Jacoby? Bad Ronald never showed up?
No.
Melissa Sue Anderson?
No, actually, she did not go. I don't think she went to our school. I don't think so. Brady Bunch kids did, but I don't. But we did not have the Partridge family. They did not go.
Wow.
Yeah. So, which is it was 2 different studios, so it didn't work.
Screen Gems was one of them.
Yeah, the Brady Bunch kids were Paramount.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's right. You're friends with, through you, I met Cousin Oliver.
Yeah, and Cindy Brady, Susan Olsen.
Right.
Billy Jacoby and
Oh, then you did know the Jacobys.
Yeah, Susan Jacoby. Yeah, Susan and I would drive Billy to. He was doing the Bad News Bears. At the
TV
time.
series or the movie?
I think it was a movie. Yeah, it was a movie, and we would drive and just hang at Paramount and just go running all over the place in the back.
Did you ever date Jackie Earl Haley?
I did not.
Wow.
I didn't really date anybody.
What?
I was more of a what do you call it? What do you call those? The Band-Aids.
Oh, a groupie. Well.
Yeah.
Danny Bonaducci will see you now.
No, I believe it or not, I didn't meet Danny Bonaducci until I was in college, and we had to do a scene a kissing scene, and I was
Of course.
disgusted.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I was. I was
Did it
like,
taste like cigarettes and vermouth?
it was like I don't even want to go near this guy. And I hear he's gotten better, but back then, ooh, we've got sound. We've got some.
Hey, guess what, Dan? It's time to plug our sponsor.
Yeah. Gosh, lovely woman. You want a New York bagel in Rancho Cucamonga. What do you possibly do?
I'm sorry, say that again?
You are walking through Rancho Cucamonga, a retrograde prehistoric landscape without New York bagels. Where do you go?
I go and eat bagels.
You go to the New York Bagel Company on the corner of Archibald and Foothill. Yes, and Dan, what makes a New York bagel?
Yes, Dan, the perfect New York bagel. Dan, we can't hear you.
Engineer booth, come on, I can't hear you.
Speak.
Now can
Yeah.
you?
Oh my God, loud
there
and
you
clear.
go.
Dan, what makes a New York bagel?
The water.
The water indeed,
What?
sir.
Not just
He
water.
gets his water from New York.
That's right. He imports his water from New York. Our good buddy Jamal.
So where's our bagels?
I know.
They're up the
We gotta
street
give our boy a chance to get back on his
on
feet.
the
Usually he brings
corner
them in.
of Foothill and Archibald. I love
producers-
the blueberry bagel.
This is our producer's second show since December 20th. Okay, he's been in a bad way. Usually he brings the bagels.
I've been confined.
He's been confined and consigned. The man, he's been
I'm
waiting.
still contagious. I hope you didn't touch me.
Yes. So when you're hungry for bagels, delicious bagels, go to
Jamal's New York
the
Bagels.
New York Bagel Company. And where
Next
do
door
you
to the
go?
comic shop.
Where do you go, Patrick, when you want to smoke a fine cigar or have a nice glass of wine or craft beer?
To have a craft beer and watch the sun slowly set and over the little Upland International House of Pancakes blue roof, I go to the Upland Wine Merchants and Cigar Company.
Oh, nice.
That's Upland Wine.
And cigar.
Okay, here we go. Mark Hefferman, the owners, are going to kill us right now. Okay, let's
Upland
do this
wine
right.
and cigar.
Pacific
Wine
Wine Merchants and Cigar Exchange in downtown Upland at the Metrolink station.
Do you know?
Right there.
Do you know how hot it is with a guy smoking a cigar? They
Really?
just look so delicious.
Oh.
Well, I kind of do the Hannibal thing, you know. When I get my plan together, when I put on my derby hat and my cigar.
I thought you were talking about the cannibal.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
You know, it's like
Yes, that's Pacific Wine Merchant and Cigar Exchange. And live music on the weekend.
Live music, the sultry sounds of
Yes.
Erica Loggy and other fine groups.
The biggest humidor in San Bernardino. Oh, look at them glossy lips.
I have a humidor in my house.
You do?
Are you a cigar smoker?
I am not, but I do have gentlemen that are. Scotch and cigars.
You know, sometimes I ride my motorcycle and smoke a cigar at the same time.
Maybe we need to talk.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll hold the camcorder.
All right, everybody, come to Pacific Wine Merchants and Cigar Exchange in downtown Upland.
And
Back
plus,
to our show.
Jamal's New York Bagel.
New
When
York
you're hankering for an
bagels.
everything bagel or Dan and I's favorite, an everything bagel.
And we
What-
need to hit the pavement
what-
and go get some more sponsors.
What do
don't
you
we?
like on your bagel?
The everything bagel's got everything. Just a smear of cream cheese.
Oh, there you go.
Then they usually, there's usually egg. They put egg on it as well.
Well, that's if you want. If you want to make
Yeah.
yourself an egg sandwich,
And everything
like me,
bagel has everything
I have.
on
They take 2 eggs, and I put the sausage and the cheese on my blueberry bagel.
Sometimes a jalapeno bagel. It's perfect.
These guys like the everything bagel.
We do. Lightweight here likes the
His
blueberry.
delicious cream cheese.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Lightweight Jeff here. Can I have a blueberry?
It's not for me, it's for my wife.
So, yeah, exactly. Jeff is always getting, and Jeff's like timid. It's not really for me. I would eat an everything bagel.
It's cool. It's all decorated in New York scenery.
It is beautiful.
They've got 2 clocks, New York time, and
3 hours ahead. 2 hours ahead of Sunday.
yeah.
When daylight savings time springs into
What?
action.
Wait a minute. When's that going to happen?
Sunday. Saturday night,
So
actually.
that
Really?
means our future guests are going to have to get here earlier or later.
Their asses will have to be here an hour earlier. What the hell? Oh, that's my snooze alarm.
You know what? I want to thank everybody out there that has made the trip to the studio because when you come to we get such a better interview than you do on the phone.
You know what? And by the way, Mo, thank you very much for coming in and being early.
And everybody that
You
drives
came running in right before we're on.
an hour and comes out here. I was just
How was
talking-
traffic, baby?
Well, I have to tell you that I have stayed at a hotel.
Wow, we're honored.
And I had a wake-up call.
We would have brought you the
But
fruit basket had
apparently-
you told us.
But apparently, they don't do wake-up calls. So
Motel 6?
you don't have Motel 6s out here.
We have one where a guy was chopped up. Actually, it's now.
Oh, good. I would love to stay there.
It's famous. It made the crime show.
I do wake up calls.
One of my
I
neighbors.
should have called you.
Yes.
One of my neighbors busted the guy who chopped up his girlfriend and put her in the suitcase.
How
Oh my
exciting.
God! Was that the hotel that
Yes,
we
that
pass
was
every
a-
day to get to our show?
That was the Motel 6 originally when it was a Motel 6.
So
yeah.
now it's called Motel 6-ish.
It's something else.
Six
funny.
pieces. Yes.
But
six
yes,
pieces.
had you told us you were nearby, we would have given you a 2 a.m. wake up call.
Well, there you go.
It's pretty funny because every time that we see cops pulling people over.
Oh,
like,
that's true.
when I pick him up from his apartment,
Don't say where.
and we go down the ghetto over there by the.
We cut through a ghetto on the way here after that, and then
And, like we see cops everywhere. There's a drive-through dairy, and we see it.
They're putting in a street light now because there's an accident there every morning.
Yes, and the cops are there, and then the drive-through dairy.
One of those cheesy retrofitted. Somebody kicked in.
With the tin corrugated siding.
Somebody was stealing milk.
Like a
and
can opener, and
the
they
cops
peeled
are
it
waiting
up,
for him to come
and
out.
the cops are just waiting there, waiting
They
for
got
the
a
dude
German
to come
Shepherd
out.
sitting there waiting for the guy to come out.
Now, I decided I did not want to deal with the police officers and I did not want to deal with the traffic. So I went and I decided to get a hotel
Wow.
where I could be in a spa afterwards and have a nice massage because it's time for me.
Wow, good girl. Oh, this is a Red Lion.
Apparently,
Me
though,
too.
your
It's okay to
websites-
pamper yourself. You know?
Oh, apparently, though, the websites are not correct. So there was no spa and there was no wake up call.
Wow.
Oh God!
I'm-
You could bring your own kiddie pool,
You
like your
know?
own inflatable. Pool.
But I'm here and I'm having a blast. So
Well, we're
there
having a
you
blast
go.
with you. Thank you so
know?
much for coming in, Mo. It means a lot to us.
I'm having fun.
We are too. Please, thank you.
You guys are kind of a hootenanny.
Oh, shucks.
Well, that's what makes this show different from everybody else.
Dan the Man, this is the second show he's been back for since December 20th.
Oh, a round of applause.
Bravo.
Yay,
Oh,
Dan!
look at- she can do her own applause. Wow.
Are you wearing your jammy pants right now?
No, I'm actually wearing blue jeans.
He wore his jammy pants yesterday.
I was going to come in jammies.
Yeah.
Really? That would have been hot.
Well, I figured it's morning. You know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm more of a comedian, so the morning things, unless I'm doing a movie, mornings are not my thing.
What's the last movie you did?
Laid over.
Wow.
Yeah, I did.
Are you sure?
I saw
did.
this. You got a lot in post production here.
I did R.
Yeah, the pirate movie.
I did that
Phoebe
I
Price.
directed.
Phoebe Price is in it, right? You
No.
did something with a girl named Phoebe Price.
No,
Okay, hold on. I'll show you.
no.
I'm seeing. Okay, laid over.
Yes.
It's a short.
Yep.
How short is it?
Well, it's not that short, but it is.
How do you classify a short film? I mean, what's the limit? What's the this stupid
You got to kill that.
Why do these ads pop up on the IMDb? I'm really not digging this. Okay.
I don't know.
Does it have to go? Does it have to be under 10 minutes and
You're
over
knocked up.
15?
I'm in Knocked Up.
Yeah, according to this. Oh, no, there's a different Mo Collins.
Well, I'm not Collins. I'm Kelly.
Hey,
It is early.
But it's
What's-
okay.
do you know the limit, Pat?
Give her a
to-
shout
to-
out.
To classify a short film, does it have to be
yeah,
under a half hour?
usually about 15 minutes to a half hour makes a short.
Half. Yeah. Well, it's under. I think it's under
45.
45
I think, yeah.
minutes is a short. But this particular short was, we couldn't do it really, like I said, it's the airport. And it was supposed to be Road Hard's kind of their signature card. So it might have been a short, but it was acting as a feature, if you will. Marilyn Gigalotti's in it, Tom Proctor's in it.
Wow.
Margie Rogers is in it, we went all out on this one. It's not just a little nothing. It's a pretty big production, let me tell you. So it was awesome from the top to the bottom, and we got Trudy Sargent as a producer, and this was crazy. It was awesome.
I can't wait to see it when the party's there.
I can't wait to see
our good
it
friend
too.
Marilyn.
She was awesome. She was one of the flight attendants. Is that?
She was a great. She came in here and she did a great interview.
You
with
did
us.
Nation's Fire with Lou Ferrigno?
I did.
How was Lou?
I did not meet him, but I met
Stern?
I met Bear and you know what's funny is
Did you meet Rusty Coons from
I did, and Liddell, which was
Chuck?
what was hilarious was I was at my daughter's house getting something out of dog pet paws or something like that, and there he was, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's him, and he's like doing his thing, and I go over to him and I go, you guys, you might want to just go and say hi because these guys are losing it. And the next thing I know, I'm doing a movie with him. So it was kind of funny.
Wow.
It's like, what a small world. So yeah, I actually did the stunt on my bike.
Did you really? What
Yeah.
did you do?
Basically,
Fly over the handlebars?
what? No, I just rode it. But it was funny because I just got my license, and Tom Proctor said to me, if you can go up my Laguna Canyon, up the canyon, on the freeway, down the thing, and back around, I'll put you on the movie as just one of the riders. And I'm like, okay. So I rode, and he goes, you need to ride 1,000 miles a day, 1,000 miles a day. And I'm like, okay, I didn't ride 1,000 miles a day. I rode 600.
No, it's time to get a new bike if you're doing that.
Well, it was like, but because he wanted me to really be, proficient on the whole thing. And so he comes over and he tests me, and I rode well and everything. He goes, okay, I'll put you on. So I ended up on the stunt team with him, which was just awesome. And Churchill was, he was a sweet, sweet man. I love him. What's up?
No. Just the worst movies on Netflix were directed by him.
Okay. Well, he was the writer and director. And we got Bruce Dern in there.
Bruce Dern?
Yeah.
How is he?
For one day, I'm guessing.
I don't know.
Did you talk to him? Did you meet
I
him?
was mostly on the stunt the stunt crew and the riding the bikes. So it was fun. I had a pretty good time. It was amazing, actually.
Wow.
It
Did
was
you
actually
meet Kelly
amazing.
Ryder? She's a big tall girl with the curly hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I that was funny. You guys are adorable.
Oh, thank you.
You know what I want to know? Oh my gosh, what's it like to be Debbie Rowe?
On Michael Jackson.
Rich and acquitted.
Yeah, that was.
You played Deborah. You got.
Wow.
That was
You're
fun.
a surrogate mother,
That,
right?
that was fun.
Did they-
Obviously, in the early part when she looked good, not when she was 300 pounds
You know
cursing
what?
TMZ.
What's funny is if you look at Michael Jackson, it's actually her name was Debbie, and I'm looking at it. It's a girl playing Michael Jackson, and I was laughing.
Really?
Oh wow!
Looked just like him, identical.
Wow. Michael Jackson was played by a girl?
Yep. But you can't tell because she actually, I think that's her gig is Michael Jackson.
My friend
She
played
dances and does all the moves.
My friend played the judge in that. He was also from Star Trek and some other stuff. So my friend was actually the judge on that. I know he was excited. This is the one that was running during the day-to-day trial, right? Where they would reenact it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And, well, no, my part was right when he met Debbie.
Okay.
So I'm in the,
You become Michael Jackson's broodmare.
yeah, but no, I'm enamored by him. Oh my gosh, it's Michael Jackson. And I was like, whatever.
And the next thing you know, you're carrying his kid, which is not even. Now, how did that story? Did he use his specimen to donate his thing, and they artificially.
The rumor was always it was Macaulay Culkin's or someone else's. Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin.
It was. That was the rumor.
I really don't think it was Michael's. I really can't. I mean, you look at all three.
Usually,
kids.
you don't make a white kid out of.
The last kid, Blanket, I guess is his name, is the only one that comes close to looking like Michael, possibly. You know, but
which one did Debbie Rowe? Which kid did she pop out?
He did. She did a Paris and a.
She did
2 of them.
What's the kid? Prince and Paris.
Oh my God! He hired her 2 times in a row. Wow.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I think the story is that the plastic surgeon was.
I heard that too. Yeah.
I don't really know because I don't know. It's an odd ox.
Holy
you know?
test tube baby, Batman.
Now, I'll bet you were hella recognized after you played Debbie Rowe on that, right?
What was hysterical was I did Killer Kids, and then I did Control-Alt-Delete, and then I did Rich and Acquitted. And all of them ended up on Lifetime at the same time. And KK Ryder actually called me and said, I saw you on both of them at the same time. And I was laughing going, okay, that's interesting. So it was like, oh, okay, I live on Lifetime. I have my kid kills me. Then somebody calls me to tell me that they killed my kid. And then I'm popping out kids.
Wow.
it was kind of funny, actually.
With Michael Jackson, no less.
Yeah, with Michael Jackson. Which is so odd that she would just go ahead and, I don't want anything from you, Michael. I'll just live alone on a farm or something. It was.
That's what. Yeah, I think he had he had the bar at the farm, though, right?
I don't understand why she wouldn't have lived with him in one of his.
I think
rooms.
A woman around Neverland was the last thing he was looking for.
Ouch.
I have moments. But I mean, I did, horribly enough, I did 2 Michael Jackson videos. And in one, you see, I followed this guy who looked like Jesus for a day on a video called Midnight in Moscow, or it was one of his last albums. And there was a guy who looked like Jesus, a white, long-haired guy, with a Jesus beard. And by then, the Michael Jackson wheels were off the bus, and we're using 5th Street with a smoke machine to look like Moscow at midnight and high noon, filters on the camera and all that black and white video. So people keep saying, oh, I saw you in the Michael Jackson video. Well, my video, the one I did was never finished, the one with Stephen King. And I kept thinking, when did I do a Michael Jackson video besides that? Midnight in Moscow, which I didn't know who it was for. The Jesus-looking guy was CG'd out, and Michael Jackson put his face over the guy's. Oh,
that's horrible.
So when you look at that video, that was not Michael Jackson's body when we made the video. I'm following this one guy. I'm supposed to look like a Russian, so I've got a fuzzy hat and big coat, and it turned out to be a Michael Jackson video.
That's funny.
Hey, hello to Tony Snow, drummer for Dramarama.
Tony Snow. We've given you diamonds, we've given you pills, we've given you $100 bills. What have you done for us?
Yeah, nothing. Okay, we got Mary Dallas is watching from Barbie Rehab.
Yay, Mary Dallas.
Hey,
yeah.
I have to say, when my daughter was 4, I think it was, Michael Jackson was doing the concert, and she was invited on stage. And my daughter got there, and they gave her earplugs, and she's like, no, and went off. It was like, okay, so much for that. Because it was like when he had all the kids.
Michael said, hey, who invited the girl?
No, what was it? Heal the World or something with all the kids?
Yeah.
My daughter was invited on.
Remember the joke was he was
We
using...
are the world.
Remember they were joking that he was using them...
the children.
Not too much, we'll have to pay the song. And Facebook jail, we don't want to put Mo's episode in Facebook jail.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So keep singing, Quincy Jones. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're good. Just for singing. Well, that ain't going to happen.
Facebook is fine. It's YouTube that'll...
Remember,
You're allowed to do what is it? 20
2
seconds?
bars or 3 bars. Yeah.
No, it's 20 seconds of any song before you have to pay for it.
When
Yeah, I
Willem
think that's
Dafoe
about
sings one line of the Itsy Bitsy Spider and you have to put it in the ending credits of Spider-Man, no.
Do you know Happy Birthday is almost
Public domain. It's public domain now.
No.
Yep.
When did it become?
It became public domain. Some guys were doing a short film, and they wanted to use Happy Birthday.
Right.
And, Mildred Natwick or whatever the estate
Right.
was.
The 2 old ladies. Yeah.
And they challenged it, saying it was over a certain amount of time. Judge ruled it was public domain. Now you can sing Happy Birthday in a movie without paying for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because
I always heard that the 2
used to
ladies
be.
used to get so much money.
Well, they used to get so much money. They proved it was public domain. So now you're screwed, Grandma. I should have banked it.
Well, I own Hypnosis Gone Wild. That is my trademark.
That's your term?
Yes.
Wow.
Girls Gone Wild.
Now, could you, if the creator of Girls Gone Wild, after being sued into the Stone Age, he comes to you and he says, could you just hypnotize these broads into taking off their shirts? Could you?
You could I?
Yeah.
Technically, yes.
Perfect.
Haven't they used this for? I've seen this in crime show episodes where the hypnotist hypnotizes somebody to do robberies or jewel thieves,
Well,
and then
Cabinet of
comes
Dr.
back.
Technically, what they say is
You would never do anything you wouldn't do awake.
exactly. But having said that, could I? Would I? I'm ethical. I'm moral. And who wants to see girls' boobs? Oh, that's right. You guys do.
Everybody.
There we go.
Wow, keep going.
You don't need that big jewelry box full of diamond rings and watches, do you?
Okay, in The Exorcist, the psychiatrist hypnotizes the little girl and the demon. Could you do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, hypothetically.
Could I hypnotize a demon?
Yeah.
Or a ghost.
Because remember he goes, and you, Captain Howdy, are
I'm
also.
thinking to myself, I don't know if I could hypnotize a demon, but I have definitely hypnotized a lot of men that are demonic.
You are a Georgia Peach.
Just
woman.
don't marry them.
Well, you know what they say. You always, the person you divorce is not the one you married. At all.
Now, Frenchie Mafia, are you? Now, this is a short. You're playing yourself, right?
Yes,
You're
yes.
playing the mesmerizing Mo.
Yes.
That everybody knows.
That was pretty hilarious. Jenna Urban got me on that. She was producing that, and she's like, "We need people." I'm like, "Sure, I'll come and help." And all the next thing I know, I'm in it. So it was
How did
pretty
you
funny.
prepare yourself to play this character of mesmerizing Mo? Did you study who she was and then act her mannerisms?
I
Did you figure her out from the inside
I
out?
did. I thought about it. I researched her. I decided, okay, I'm going to just put the corset on and I'll become her.
Oh, yeah. Excellent.
Did you ever tell them mesmerizing Mo would not do this?
I don't think I've ever said, when I worked the Adult Con,
Yes. Well, you worked the adult con?
I did.
Well,
I had
awesome.
I had a booth there, and
Yeah, see, you did work with Phoebe Price, smartass. You just told me you didn't. She plays, here's a shock, Phoebe in, right there, top one.
in what?
In the Mesmerizing Mo one, in Frenchie Mafia. She was a redhead.
Okay, yes. I honestly,
Are the memories coming back?
no, because she wasn't there the day that I was down there.
Oh, okay.
Because she used to wander. She used to wander the hotels at Comic-Con, to get in pictures dressed as Wonder Woman. That's how I remember her name.
There you go.
She would dress as Wonder Woman and wander the lobby, and they would.
Is that the one we saw when we were at Kamikaze? Was it
No, that was not her. She was the one you met at Comic-Con that one year. Remember?
Oh, yes.
The redhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. She would go to the lobby of the biggest hotels to get in pictures and see if she could get a gig or two, which is nice.
It works.
Yeah, sometimes
Everybody's got to play their own game.
you might be pinned under Harvey Weinstein for a few days, but
Here's this guy, Harvey, who we all knew about. Everybody knew. But you also
not Meryl Streep though. Even though she was drinking champagne with him,
But even though you
she
knew
somehow not knew.
about him, you also ended up with a lead role or an academy.
Yeah. There you go. You know exactly. So,
I'm sorry.
I'll make sure you get this award.
yeah.
But he did.
Yeah.
That's the difference. You know, it's you can be a total.
Right. Excellent use of sound effects. Why are you flipping yourself off?
I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It's sound activated. It's motion activated. Oh, I think
The battery's dead.
It's you already played with
Oh,
it.
see, he's back twice, and
Dan
he already
is back.
knows that
He
it's
already
dead.
knows that the
He's the
battery
producer,
operated
baby. He knows.
is dead. What kind of batteries is it?
I have no idea. I
You
didn't know
never changed the batteries
dead.
in it. Neither have I. Okay.
Only stuck the fingers.
We'll let that to management here. Let Dutchie do that.
Yeah.
I also have to give a shout out to Image One. Woohoo!
Image One.
It's out here actually, or
Really?
Riverside.
Really?
Oh yeah, they were the one. My brain just stopped. Flack, John Flack was in our. He was the one that we used the cameras and everything from Image One. Woohoo!
Yeah, very nice.
All right.
All right, Mo, let me change the subject real quick. I was reading your Facebook last night, because I always kind of study up on the DS. It says you're a foodie. Have you ever done a food show, a food article, or you just love food?
It says I'm a foodie.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I haven't done. I kind of did. I did Good Morning America, where I did the tailgate section, and I brought in the hamburger griller and barbecues and the daddy grill daddy. So to keep your food all clean and delicious and everything. But that's as close as a food show as I've done.
Okay.
But
Can you make macaroni and cheese homemade?
absolutely.
All right, I'm up. Just let me know what day.
Funny that you would say that. My son, all of my children pick what they want for their birthday dish, and my oldest son picks Mama's 7 cheese macaroni.
Yeah.
7 cheese.
Yeah, because you got to have a lot of cheese.
Yeah.
in
Can you
your
incorporate
macaroni.
when you do it again? You invite me. Can you incorporate some bacon in it?
Everything goes better with bacon.
Yeah.
Right.
Bacon. I'm like that dog with the sees of bacon strips.
It's true. Everything goes. Have you
Jokes are only funny when you have to explain them.
have you had bacon with apples?
That sounds good. Apple bacon, yes. Why
No.
not?
You just take an apple and you cut it into slices, and then you add a bacon to it and eat it together.
I've been seeing all these YouTube videos where things wrapped in bacon, and it's just things that you would never say, like, but then you people try to go, this really works.
That it really does. It really does. Everything with bacon, and now they have like chocolate covered bacon.
Oh yeah, I do. I love the chocolate bacon. It's good. I love it.
That's weird. I've never heard of that.
You've never heard of chocolate bacon?
Never.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, go to the county fair.
I was going to say, have you never been to the fair?
Yeah.
That's what, baby. That's what.
County fair. Dan is
Excuse me.
absolutely
The funnel
right.
cake is the reward of choice at the county fair. You don't like funnel cake? I don't want to live in a world. Oh.
Yeah, I can make funnel cake at home.
Yeah, but you can't make it like it is at the fair.
Oh, see, I don't eat sweets. I'm not a sweet person. I'm a bitch.
Funnel this cake.
By the way, when you do this, you're flipping yourself off.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, you're pointing. Yeah, hey, you're pointing. 3 fingers are pointing back at you.
Well, thank you, Sister Rita Jean.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
That was from elementary school.
I was gonna say, what was that? Glue that sticks to you comes back
Oh,
to
yeah.
you. There you go.
Well, there'd always be the kid who lost his eye in the snowball fight. And I remember we were obsessed with finding the kid and finding out what hit his eye to knock the eye out. But
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in the rural town of Michigan.
Oh, there's snow. You know what?
Too much.
I did a show where I came in at 3 a.m. in Connecticut, and there was like this white stuff coming down out of the sky, and I was like, "What is that? Oh my gosh!" So I went into the to check in, and I said to the guy, "What holiday is this? What's going on?" And he goes, "What are you talking about?" I go, "Well, that they have the snow machines." to come in and bring the snow. And he's like, what are you talking about? I go, well, usually if we're going to bring the snow in, it will be like
So you hypnotized
celebrating something.
You hypnotized yourself.
It was the first time I ever saw snow come from the sky.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I wish I could say I'd only seen it come from the sky
And
once.
you grew up shoveling snow in the driveway.
The terrible thing is when you were a little kid and you watch your dad and maybe your older brother shoveling, and one day you didn't understand. You're like 6 or 7. It looked like fun, and your mom's like, "You want to help Daddy?" Sure. Once you're out the door helping Daddy shovel that walk, you will never go back to sitting by the fire watching other people shovel ever again. Yeah. And I remember you'd be out there so long, your fingers would go numb. And my mom did this terrible thing where she'd loan you out to like, with this little Polish Nazi across the street, Mrs. Ori. And Mrs. Ori had this big, she looked like a Far Side character. She looked like a garden gnome by a Far Side character. She had the big hair.
Beehive.
The beehive lacquered hair, like the 70s and 80s that never come to Michigan. She had beehive hair. So she had these 2 little dogs too. What are the dogs with the hyperthyroid eyes? Shih Tzus or something.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember, oh my God, you got to help Mrs. Ori before Mrs. Ori. And so we're shoveling Mrs. Ori's walk. And then we're about to go back home, and it took all 5 of us kids. Mrs. Ori would come out in boots and plastic pants and saying, kids, it's shoveling. You can't go in because I can be sued if someone slips on my sidewalk if you don't keep the snow from landing. And my parents, after this dumb idea of let's help the old lady across the street for free, then my parents would have to come out like 30 minutes later to get us back in because she wouldn't let us leave.
Wow.
Man, keeping you hostage.
And Mrs. Ori, by the way, Mrs. Ori's idiot son was one reason that cars cost so much in Michigan in the late 70s, early 80s. What would happen is Mrs. Ori was faking one of her 30 heart attacks. She usually did this that time of year. Christmas is rolling around. Oh, you must call my son. My son will save me. And she always talked about her son like he was a firefighter or a cop. No, he worked on the line at the Ford plant. And worked on the line. You put one screw in this. And so what happened is
on the line they only put one screw in.
Yeah, basically one screw per car kind of thing because there's 3 other cars to go in. So
do that again.
So they can't find it, and they're wondering why Honda and Toyota were killing us. They had better cars and better assembly lines
and better robots and better development. Robots.
So what happens is she's calling, oh, my son. She calls the Ford River Rouge plant. Can't find her idiot son. So one of the guys next to him on the line finally sheepishly explains to her. It took like 20 minutes to find the kid. Remember, I was a kid, so I didn't realize this was. So they get hold of her son, like this 26-year-old pot-smoking idiot, and he was asleep in a pile of tires.
Aye.
These guys are making $17 an hour. Remember, this is why Japan killed us. He was making $17 an hour. His other friend was making $17 an hour. And they were sleeping in a pile of tires, not together, just sleeping. And the third guy was doing all 3 of their jobs.
So was this Ford?
Yeah. Found on road dead, fixer repair daily. Yeah,
you won't see that at the Chevy plant.
Have you ever driven a Ford lately? Never.
I don't think I've ever driven a Ford.
You've missed nothing. So
There's nothing.
My father worked for Chrysler. We liked Chrysler, although Lee Iacocca, I was assured, was an imbecile.
That's funny. That's funny.
So what happened is these guys are all making $17 an hour, and they're sleeping in a pile of tires while the 3rd or 4th guy is lookout and doing all their jobs.
Why is he the lookout? Why wouldn't you just say something?
Are they taking turns or shift? Or
they would take turns.
I was going to say, would they take turns? That would make sense.
They would take turns where one guy would do all 4 people's jobs and then get them up for lunch or whatever. I mean, and then they're wondering why you would turn on the news and there'd be some fat guy with a baseball bat beating the hell out of a Honda, because he had the nerve to see a Honda parked in Detroit streets. And it's like, I remember that summer in the early 80s visiting my grandmother in Seattle. And you saw wave after wave of these beautiful looking Hondas coming ashore in Seattle. And you knew it was over. The guy sleeping in the tires did not have a job much longer.
I would hope not.
No.
But then again, it was, back then, that's very rare back then that you
not in Michigan.
All right, never mind. I'm not.
No, go ahead, Mo. Go ahead. It was rare. Go on.
It seems like the work ethics, if you will, were a little better back then. But I guess not. I don't know.
I promise you.
I grew up in California.
Yeah,
so.
see, you're spoiled. Entitled.
This is dirty factory work.
Even your ghosts would punch a cock and work hard. But Michigan was a union town. You couldn't be fired.
That Peter Frampton ghost was punching a time clock.
Yeah,
that was his job.
It wasn't. He came every night at 9 and 10 and 11.
By the way,
boom.
He knows exactly what time it is.
Like a great performer, he did 3 shows a night.
Every night. Every night.
I guess ghosts, because I've heard this through other ghost stories, that they repetition and they're like clockwork, and that's how they have a cycle.
What was the most disturbing thing the ghost did? Was it the A&W bottle or was it worse?
I didn't really like him touching me. And it was really funny when I came back to that house to go look at it. I got that feeling, and I didn't enjoy that very much. But I've always been around ghosts, so I always see them. I've seen spirits all the time. My mom was a licensed psychic, and
Well, your mom was a psychic, so you came by your hypnosis technique honestly.
Why I'm a better hypnotist, if you will, is because I am empathic. I can feel you. I kind of see when you're coming in and out and so forth and so on. But
You've got that extra sensory.
kind of, yeah.
What's that great Blondie song?
He's all, you got that extra. You know what?
Jeff is ready to work it.
Funny that I used to have, Dan used to run into me at the grocery store. Remember my Ghostbuster mobile?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd see me at Stater Brothers, and
right there on the
I had this.
He usually slept in it.
I did.
Yeah, he did.
That's a
Oh,
sad
I got a
note.
good story for you on that. But I had this white Chevy station wagon, and I said it's really boring and just plain, and it was a 1988 station wagon. So I put the decal in, I put the light, the spinning on the top, and I put paranormal investigations.
I think I saw you.
Services, and I'd drive it around town, and I'd come out of the parking lot, and I'd see kids and everybody taking family pictures against my car, and they go, "This is the coolest car," and I'm like, "No, it isn't. It runs on it's 8 cylinders. It runs on 5. It does not have reverse."
And it makes no money.
And it makes no money.
Not unlike its owner.
It's a gas hog. What's all this? Clear all.
I don't know. I've said you got
There we
things
go.
coming in. Yeah.
So, and it made me curious. And then I had people come up to me and go, "My house is haunted." The girl on 9th Street wanted me to, she's telling me all these creepy stories, and I went to the city records and found out it was a turnaround camp for Indians, and they would, a couple of them died here.
That was my house, and it was funny because everybody that moved there only stayed 2 years.
Wow.
And then they would get a divorce. Every single person that moved there. And you have to understand, it was a 5-bedroom home. And they said the neighbor, I don't know, I didn't look it up, but the neighbor said, "Oh yeah, it was on a Indian thingy or something." And I'm like, I don't know about that, because Peter Frampton's hair was pretty blonde. And so, but apparently it was every single 2 years the house was for sale until it was my family. And my parents were so cheap, they wouldn't leave. It's a house, and they came from Venice Beach to Woodland Hills, which was la-ti-da.
Yeah, no, fancy schmancy even today.
Yeah.
Wait, did you ever go to the Motion Picture Country Home when you lived out there?
Yeah, actually. But it was they wouldn't leave, even though the ghost was everywhere.
Well, I can imagine the ghost saying, "Okay, this has been I'm sure they could sense time. Why haven't they left out? Where's the new tenant?
Exactly.
These people are still hanging out here.
Exactly. But what's funny
In
now?
my house.
But what's funny is that house seems. I kept coming back a couple of times, and it looked the same. And this last time I came back, like I said, they have embraced the hauntedness, and it looks like the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland.
Wow.
I'm like cracking up. I laugh. He's like, what?
No, sorry, I'm playing with it. So it was like a goth, but it was like the goths who moved in loved it.
It completely.
Wow.
Completely.
Play with something, play with that.
Ooh.
We usually do this when a guest arrives, but you got here right before we started. We never
I didn't realize. See, there you go.
we never had a chance to play with our doorbell.
See, I came too early.
It's never too.
Well, now
Let
I'm
it in.
now I'm here.
Where's our clown horn?
So what's the?
Oh, we had a clown horn. We had that was
Yeah,
our custom.
I need to go buy another one.
Because we can say whatever we want on this thing. It's uncensored, but we keep our language clean. In here
decorum.
pretty much.
I'm an uncle.
Yeah, but once in a while it slips out when we really want to emphasize on something, and then we use the horn, the bicycle
Party
horn.
foul.
Yeah, Bop, bop.
Party foul.
It's more fun that way.
But
And it disappeared.
But what was the weirdest, most unsettling thing they did to you?
The
The pee
ghost
touching,
did?
yeah, the boob touching. or-
The boob touching. That was actually kind of nice. Thank you.
Slower, longer, faster.
It was funny because it was a daily thing, so it was never any. It was like part of your, you make coffee every day, and is the coffee good? Is the coffee bad? And it was so daily. It wasn't even.
You weren't scared? I mean, so could you be
Not
home?
while I was living there. No.
Could you be home alone with the ghosts?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I was usually home alone with the ghost.
Would they mess with the TV when you're watching it?
No.
Wow, interesting.
No, actually, thinking about that, no. And in fact, the living room where the TV was, they didn't really go into at all.
Interesting.
But the bathroom next to the living room, they were there a lot.
Wow.
But no,
No kitchen. They didn't mess with food or boxes. Or...
nope. It was my bedroom, the downstairs bathroom, and the living room area.
Did you ever consider trading bedrooms with another sibling or parent?
No, I liked my bedroom because I could sneak out. It was perfect. It was like when I was 16.
Single story?
No, upstairs and downstairs.
Was your room upstairs?
Yes.
Oh.
But I would go into my room, I would shut the door, and then I would open the door very quietly, get outside, and then I would go outside, and my boyfriend would pick me up, and I would spend the night at his house.
Oh.
Yo, sneaky.
You're a scandalous little thing.
Yo, sneaky guy.
No, but you know what's really sad? If you think about it, I did that for probably 6 months, almost a year, and not once did my parents ever check up on me.
Wow.
Now that's sad.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Wah, wah, wah.
Wow, some comedian she is, eh, Jeff?
Was this
Wait,
high
you
Just a
get
school?
me
little
down.
house, this girl.
So obviously he had a driver's license, or did he?
Oh, he was 7 years older than me.
Wow.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I was
Lucky
a
number.
naughty
She was
girl.
13, he was 20. Really?
There you go.
Wow.
No, I was a little older than that, but yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's the way it was back back when we were in
You know,
school.
it's true. And I look at all these people that are like, oh, me too, me too, me too. Well, I was a me too, but I'm not going to talk about 20, 30 years ago. I mean, it was a different time.
I remember this one girl's dad thought I was too old. She was 2 years. I was a senior and she was a sophomore or something. I think he's a little too old for you to be going out. Like,
It was because you were in the special ed classes.
2 years difference. I'm going like, but when you look at a call, oh, look at those little kids when you're a senior and you're seeing ninth grader, freshmen or sophomores, like. But all the hot chicks, all the hot seniors have the older boyfriends that
The college guy with the car or the
that have
biker.
the hot rod, the bitchin' Camaros,
oh, I love the Camaros.
Oh, you're part of the problem.
Well, sorry, but my ex, when I met him on New Year's Eve, actually. And I was in a bar. He was playing guitar.
He said, get me a toothpick.
And bitch. and he opened the door. It was like, the white Camaro. It's like, oh, my horse stallion. Yeah. I'm in love.
With a Camaro.
Yeah, well, I was 19 in a bar, so.
There you go.
And you got the guitar player.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
What was wrong with the drummer?
He was taken.
Okay.
And he was short.
Living with his mother.
Did you ever see that thing on the internet on when those things pop up on Facebook? Girl groupie accidentally sleeps with bass player.
I know. Dan was always mentioning. Dan, what was the album title? Nobody Wants a Picture with the Drummer.
Actually, Joe got a lot of women, even though he was married, but they're both dead, so I can talk about it. But Joe,
did you hypnotize them into being dead? Or are they still sitting in a bus in an airport lounge?
Funny story. So we're at the band house, which is where we all live together. But Joe didn't live there, but he brought over one of the gals and knocking on the door, knock, 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 knock. Do you have any Vaseline? Do you have any Vaseline? And we're like, here you go. And we handed him the Vicks.
Oh, no.
Oh, the screams.
Feel the burn. Holy hot sauce.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a band house. It was fun.
That's terrible.
I know, but it was funny.
It was funny. I'm laughing, so it's...
And back in those days, it's like, okay, you're living... Who are these people living? You're living with people you don't even know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. No, it was Dennis and Kim, myself and my ex, and then Tony and Chris were at their place, and Joe and Betsy were at their place, but everybody came over to the band house like
was the living room set up? Did they rehearse there and they had
living room
equipment
was set up
all over?
exactly
So
like
it was the rock and roll party house. Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was in Woodland Hills, Van Owen, and Sherman Way.
Oh wow! Right near my butt, pretty close to my friend Robbie.
Wow. Oh, that's right. That's right. Your man crush from high school.
You have a man crush?
He was on the show and he was fawning on the guy. Remember that, Dan? Even the guy's wife is like, oh man.
No, that was Chino. That was Alan. I'm talking about Robbie Wrist. I'm talking about cousin Oliver.
Cousin Oliver.
Crush.
Yeah, his other man crush.
Robbie's got this cool swimming pool. He'll never find out because he doesn't watch this show. He's got
most of the audience.
I filmed a little movie in his backyard called The Scully Brothers Adventure. I do in black and white. I did a little film. I haven't edited it together, but his pool is all mosquitoes.
He made the movie 7 years ago.
It's got mosquito fish in it.
Oh, I love it.
And who knows what
mosquito
works.
fish, really?
Yeah.
What are those? Tell me more.
They come up. You throw fish food in there, and they all come up and they eat the mosquitoes. It's kind of an eco-balance system. You wouldn't want to swim in it.
He has a rotting pool in his backyard.
Yeah.
But that's kind of good because that way, if there's like the end of the world, you've got like your own food supply.
You can't drink out of that, though.
Oh God, I would never. I kind of want to put on a Creature of the Black Lagoon thing and come out of the pool.
But if the fish are alive, then you can drink it.
Oh no, it's dark. It's green. It's like a swamp.
Again, you can
It's
drink
very
it if
scary.
It's
when the end comes, you'll be you zombies and you puking all over your hair.
We used to have a caller that used to call in named Banquet, and he used to grow crawfish, and he would aquaponic. He had potatoes growing on top, and then all the dirt and everything would go to the bottom, and that's what the crawfish would eat.
Some white supremacist up above Baldy.
No, he is from Arkansas.
When the end comes, y'all be knocking him out.
We got some crawfish. You want to buy some live crawfish?
Wait, the potatoes can grow on top of
The water.
water?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Wow, hydroponic farming, yeah.
Yeah, potatoes and carrots. You just grow some veggies.
What about
up
weed?
there.
You can grow your own veggies. You have a garden? Can you grow stuff over there in
You know
Laguna
what's
Beach?
really funny is I had a garden when I was living in Santa Clarita. I had about this much. What is it?
Hang on, Santa
12
Clarita.
inches.
Gotta pour one out for Paul
I
Walker.
had like 12 inches, and I made everything grow up.
Wow.
And I actually
how does your garden grow?
I actually had watermelon growing up on a vine.
Wow.
It was like bizarre.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but it was fun.
Yeah.
and it was delicious.
The Santa Clarita Diet.
I have not met her.
Drew.
I didn't.
Drew Barrymore, yeah.
I was Timothy Olyphant. He's pretty good on his different character. Like he just uses his personality, and you really see somebody else. Because I remember he was in Hitman with the.
That's him with the shaved head.
Yeah, and I only recognized his teeth. You know, he's got those.
You walked up to talk to him and said, "Please go back to extras home.
Please go back to extras home.
Please don't. Hey, PA, round up this clown."
But that's that's a fun show. I was watching it the other day. I was.
Santa Clarita Diet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where she's a zombie, she keeps gluing her body parts on. She's got to keep finding.
So it sounds like a zombie, which is
Drew Barrymore
yeah,
is a zombie.
yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she's
Or
like
cannibal,
dead.
yeah.
They got to keep continually eating their neighbors, and nobody figures it out. So she doesn't rot, or she starts rotting if she doesn't eat fresh people.
When we had the earthquake, the Northridge earthquake, and the entire freeway fell down, and
405. I remember that.
and we had no in or out, nobody could get us or anything. And
Oh, you were trapped over there.
Oh, completely. And the fire hydrants were on fire and bizarre. But
What did you eat? Did you have any canned goods to survive?
But it was like we went to all of us in the neighborhood was like, oh, we're going to be friends now. And then everything was back and we're like, no, we're not going to be friends anymore. We're done. It was like, no, this was not a good choice.
Now, Dan, are we over at 5-2 or are we over at 9?
We've got 4 minutes remaining.
All right, baby.
What?
Plug. You made the hours fly by.
Okay, well, I have to say I'm Mo Kelly, and Mo Comedy Entertainment is me. I just did Laid Over. We're going to
A little higher up so the camera gets it. There we go.
We're
Perfect.
going to festival the heck out of it, and it's going to be awesome. It is starring Tom Proctor, Mo Kelly, Marilyn Gigalotti. I also did R, where I directed and filmed it, but it's more just fun. But Laid Over is what I came here to talk about because,
Yes.
with Road Hard Films. And go see me on Facebook, Real Mo Kelly on Twitter, which I always forget to tweet. I'm sorry, I'm trying. And it's a lot of social stuff, and I'm just excited for what's next. I'm Artist Mamas. I paint surreal ocean landscapes, and
But
that's
no
it.
wild whales?
I have whales in my paintings, but you have to look hard.
So it's not like one of the like a 3-year-old draws the 2-drop whale with the smile and the spout shooting at water?
No, it's a little more intense than that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is he ripping the hell out of a
And
seal?
I'm also Mesmerizing Mo. Hypnosis Gone Wild. Yeah. And hopefully we're going to do another couple of movies coming up, which I can't really talk about. But
Okay.
there you go.
Say hi to Jamie McCarty.
Hi, Jamie.
Yeah.
She's
she
so
loves you.
awesome.
Yeah.
She was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to her. She was awesome. She's in Atlanta.
Yeah, you know Jamie. Yeah,
I
she's
do.
great. She was
I
terrific on Friday. Yeah.
I do. She and I talked wonderfully. Hey.
All right, I'm going to finish this show. Thanks for watching us stream live on Facebook. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Jeff Sargent Show, stay tuned for the best of the Jeff Sargent Show. Who are we rerunning today?
Tomorrow we have
Okay.
Betty Beware.
Of course, but
That's for tomorrow's Betty Beware. What we're going to rerun for best
Yes.
of is I'm unsure that you came in and he already pre-programmed it.
wow. Okay, so we don't know who it is yet.
No.
Yeah, that's our show restarting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again, Dan. Welcome home,
Wow.
and Mo. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
No,
Okay, I've got 9% left on my phone, so let's do our promo picture.
yes, sir. All right,
Goodbye, everybody. See you tomorrow with Betty Beware.
Hasta luego, kids.
Oh,
See everybody.
nice.
Thank you, Mo.